Welcome back to Health and Wellness with Coach A.T. Moore. We are going to jump right back into our conversation with Dr. Anne Louise Lockhart. Here we go.
How do my parents speak to other people? Give and take, doing it with them so that they know how to do it in terms of a give and take. That's why eating at the dinner table or checking in with your kid, tell me about what was the best part of school today, and really engaging them in open dialogue back and forth. You sharing your day, them sharing theirs.
I think this is another parent hack. Let me know what you think, doctor. Taking your kid to a restaurant that they love and having these hard conversations, or not even a hard conversation, just a conversation where you're trying to get intel, because there's something about eating that makes the conversation flow. They're eating their favorite meal, they're outside of the house. I think that's another parent hack to kind of allow for, conversations to happen versus a parent sitting here, a child sitting here, and they're feeling, like they're being interrogated or, like rapid fire questions.
Right. I think that's a great hack. I think eating and meals and the kind of fellowship over that is a great way to kind of decrease the defenses. I do that with my kids. A really good hack with that as well too is my kids are not on social media, but I do curate the social media for them. So for example, like I have a folder that I save like TikToks and Instagram reels, and I know that they'll love, and that, every few days they're like, you got any new videos for us? I'm like, yeah. And then I'll show it to them. We'll laugh over it and we'll talk about it. Talk about the trend, talk about the song, talk about whatever it is, whether it's a funny thing or whatever. And that's a form of connection, a form of so that they don't feel like they're missing out. But you also get a kind of a bird's eye view in terms of what they enjoy and what they like as well too. Yeah, it's interesting because that social media piece for parents is really hard because everyone has it but me. Yes. So I'm pretty sure that y'all discuss that in your parent meetings, but what are some things just briefly that someone watching can help that's currently going through that? What's some advice that you would give them on how to manage that? Yeah, that is so hard. That's so hard because I think what parents feel is a lot of parent peer pressure because their kids' friends all have these devices and they feel like this pressure to do it. I think it really has to go back to like, what is your family value? What is the reason for allowing or not allowing your kids to be on devices or on certain accounts, but also knowing the research behind it. A lot of the people who are in charge of Instagram, TikTok, a lot of these, their kids aren't even on these things.
No.
So that should tell us a lot.
Yeah.
And there is research and evidence that shows teenagers, especially who are on TikTok and Instagram, they have more eating disorders, body dysmorphia, depression, anxiety, self-image issues. To me, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. And so I think we have to pay attention to, again, what's going on, that although there's a lot of pressure, that's exactly why I have this folder where I show it to my kids so that they still feel like they're in the loop, but they're not just constantly scrolling and feeding their minds with that. So I think it's about really looking at like, what is your family value? What does your kid feel like? Have a dialogue with them about what they feel and what the true issue is in terms of why they want their devices.
Right.
So I had this discussion with my son, and because he's just turned 10. No, he's been 10. He's going to be 11. And he was saying that he feels left out because everybody else in his class has cell phones. And his sister got her first cell phone when she was 11 last year. And so he was like, everybody is like, I feel left out. That's his main issue. I feel left out. So we talked about that. Okay, well, what are some ways that we can kind of address that? Could it be like the phones that have texting and calling, but not a lot of social media on it? We could do that, So really getting into problem solving mode and finding a solution with them rather than just shutting it down, I think is important, but having the conversation, having the conversation.
I like how you use problem solving because kids can come up with some really creative ways that adults wouldn't even think about. I remember a teacher was saying that I think they were teaching, had to be elementary, and they were having a problem when the bell rang, all the kids would just rush to the door and everybody would be piled up on top. So the teacher's like, what should we do in order to prevent this? And one of the kids looked down on the floor and they say, we'll just have everyone stand in a square, because the floor was basically a bunch of squares. And so when everyone stood in squares, everyone could line up behind each other and stay in their own little square. So you could stand in your square, you can dance in your square. You can do whatever you wanted to do in your square as long as you didn't touch anyone. That came from a kid.
Clever. Love that.
So the problem solving is really good and also helps with critical thinking.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have an ebook. It's called The Ultimate Parent's Guide to Eliminating Tantrums.
Yes.
Is that it's on you can get it if you go to her Instagram or the website, correct?
Correct.
So someone that is looking into that, what would they get? How do you eliminate a tantrum?
Yes. So I wrote that back in 2019, and it's a mini ebook, and it's really the goal is really to help the parent understand why the tantrums are occurring in the first place. So again, coming from the place of understanding, and then helping to meet the need behind the behavior. There's always a reason for behavior, and we want to always identify that so that we're not giving in to the tantrum, which further reinforces it or can make it worse. We want to be able to meet the kid where they're at, and giving them the sense of, if they want more control, how can we give our kid more control? So maybe they are helping set the table. They help create the family menu for the week. They determine what movie we watch as a family on Fridays, like giving them more control. But really a lot of the foundation of the book is helping the parents feel better equipped in terms of what is developmentally appropriate, and then being able to identify how to find out what your kids' needs are. So that way you can once you identify that, you can meet the need and therefore decrease the tantrums. Not knowing that it's not going to be completely eliminated, but it's knowing, because a lot of it is normal and developmentally appropriate, but really identifying it so that when the parents coming from a place of understanding, they feel less frustrated, because then they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense that they're having this attitude because they're tired. So rather than feeling frustrated by it and feeling like you have to axe it, you feel like, okay, no, it makes sense that this is how they feel. And I know that they're always tired whenever I pick them up from daycare, and they're hungry, so that I'll have a snack and we go to the park and hang out together because they want connection. So a lot of it is about the foundation of understanding. Where is your kid at? Why are they behaving the way they are? So that way you feel better equipped so that you're not reacting to their reactions.
Yeah, I read something that totally gave me a mindset shift when I was I had not entered into the mental health space, but I was reading books about just behavior. I was just trying to get an understanding of the why. And I read kids behave well when they can.
Yes.
And when they can't, it's a lack of skill, not will. And that just kind of blew my mind, because then I started looking at the behavior as, okay, there's a skill missing here. They don't know how to do this executive functioning piece that needs to be strengthened here. And I think that a lot of parents sometimes get caught up in the behavior. I was a teacher, and I didn't know about executive functioning until I transitioned from high school to middle school. And I started seeing all these crazy behaviors. And my husband, who's a clinical psychologist as well, he just kind of threw out the term, oh, that's just executive functioning. I'd never heard of it. So then I did the deep dive, and I was like, oh. And it shifted everything. It shifted how I looked at my kids, how I approached the behavior, and even how I help teachers deal with some of the challenges. And so I think awareness and education is so important. And if you are a parent right now and you're watching this and you want to know more, I encourage you to go to her Instagram and go to the parent. What did you say? It's self-paced. It's the parent group that you have online.
The membership.
What do they get once they get into that membership? It's like a whole lot of different videos or webinars and
yes. So the membership is monthly. They pay monthly fee to be able to get access to all my previously recorded courses that were recorded live, most of them recorded live with Q&A at the end. Mm-hmm. And there are 11 courses they'll have instant access to. And then every month they'll get an additional course that's never been released before on the platform. That's usually short form, like anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes on a particular, very specific topic. So for example, today I just released one on depression in kids and teens. Last month was on rejection sensitivity. Month before was on how to handle severe aggression in kids. So it's a different topic that's very focused. That's either a video or a downloadable handout or both. Right. They get monthly group parent coaching sessions with other parents of kids of all ages. And we do a Zoom group session every month. And then a community chat. So anytime a question comes up, like I had a question just today from a parent, like how do you help to introduce to a teen how to decrease social media time without them thinking it's a punishment. And I gave a detailed response to it. So they get like access to me. That's why I call it like, it's like having a parenting coach in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because I always heard that, like, oh, Dr. Lockhart, I wish I had you in my pocket so that when my kid was acting a fool, I'm like, what would Dr. Lockhart say? And so it's that whole idea of like, what do I do? And that you have this resource available to you. So yeah, that's what they'll get. They'll have all of this, and they get, I think when I looked at the full value, I think it's like over like $1,800 worth of information.
Wow.
That they get for $47.
Wow. And let me just tell y'all why you should get what sets Dr. Lockhart apart from other parent coaches that are online, because you don't have to have a degree or certificate to be a parent coach. You can put that title and you can just run with it. But when you have a clinical background, the developmental background, then you can get information from Dr. Lockhart that gives you why puberty for boys is different than girls, why anxiety is higher in girls than it is for boys. You get developmental information like that. Not saying that those other parent coaches don't have that, but when you know someone got a degree, that's where you want to go. And so I just encourage y'all to take advantage of the resources that she has. Now, after talking to you, I feel like you have another book in you. Do you have another book coming?
Yes.
Okay.
It's funny because my husband and I, he is such a support, and everything that I do in my life is because of his support. And we were just joking this morning about, he was like, yeah, in your free time, what you should do is, so we always joke about like in my free time. Yeah. So yes, I have this thing going on right now. Can't give too many details that about doing something that's because two of my books that I have currently are 2 ebooks, one on ADHD and one on the tantrums. But I'm I am in the process of doing a actual book.
Yes.
So yes, that's in the works. I'm trying to carve out time to do it so that I'm not burning myself out.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we're going to look forward to that. Now, listen, y'all, after we end this interview, I'm going to ask her how I did so I can get her back to talk about one of the things that I want to talk about. And if you have kids, you want to learn about it too, because you can have executive functioning challenges and not have ADHD. And so it's really important to kind of get more insight and awareness about this. I'm hoping I can have her back. Do you have anything coming up? Any workshops or webinars that people watching can participate in before? I know everyone's getting ready for the holidays, but the people that are watching this interview are like, oh, I want to learn more before I jump into a class. I want to know, just kind of glean more. I know you have a YouTube.
Yes. I haven't dedicated as much time to the YouTube channel as I would like. I would like to do more with that. I don't think I have anything specific, because what I'm really focusing on is promoting my membership right now.
Okay.
Because I find that people who tend to purchase my courses, they tend to purchase multiple ones. And I felt like it just made more sense, cost effective, and just time wise for that. So I would say that the biggest thing that I have going on is just a real push to just join the membership, and especially because I find that a lot of parents that I'm speaking to online and through parent coaching, they just feel really alone.
Yeah.
They feel stressed, they feel overwhelmed, they feel alone. A lot of them are very isolated. They're not around the family that they grew up with, or they don't want to be.
Yeah.
And they have these kids and they don't have any support. And so that's why I'm pushing so much with the membership. We just had our just this past week, our group coaching session, and it was so hilarious. We're just laughing until we cry and sharing stuff. And that's what I want people to have, because loneliness is the new pandemic.
It is.
People feel alone. People feel alone. And that's what I really want. That's why I'm not putting too much effort into creating new content, because I feel like there's such a consumption of content right now.
Yeah.
And there's so many things out there. I just want people to feel like, okay, yes, I have content right here, right now. But what I feel like you really need is support. And I have lots of parent coaching clients who just reach out to me because they're like, I don't have anything. I just needed to know it's going to be okay.
Yeah. We kind of normalize some of the things, especially new parents, that if you're a new parent and you don't have anyone around, like you just said, to kind of give you guidance and normalize some stuff. Like, I decided that I wanted to get over my fear of dogs. So I fostered a dog. I was scared of dogs all my life. I got a dog. I had no idea that my dog chasing his tail was normal. I freaked out. I was like, something's wrong with my dog. I put it on social media and they were like, AT, calm down. That's normal. You're not a bad dog owner. It's just normal. So a lot of these behaviors and things that you're seeing, if you are a new parent, having a community and a coaching guide will help normalize some of that thing, so you don't take it personally and think that you are doing damage to your kid,
Exactly.
that you are a bad parent. So this is why resources and communities like this are really helpful.
Absolutely.
You have another Instagram, A New Day Psych.
Yes, that's my practice.
Okay.
And so A New Day Psych is the practice. And that one is just kind of giving general information, general mental health or parenting information, and just a place where people can connect to know like how they can call, because they can call, text, email us for information. So that's the other one that I have as well.
All right. Is there anything that we did not touch on or discuss that you want to share before we wrap up?
I think just kind of emphasizing for parents that I think I hear from so many parents who think that they're so afraid of screwing up their kid, like making such a big royal mistake that they can just screw them up for life. And I'm like, I don't want parents to think that there's like this exact perfect way to parent,
right?
Because you have to parent the kid in front of you. And you can't parent imaginary kids. You can't parent, this kid that doesn't exist. And you can do the best that you can, have the relationship and the connection. And that's what's most important.
Yeah.
There is no parent, although there may be parent hacks, there is no one way to parent. And there isn't any one perfect way. Your kid just needs you to be good enough to show up and just to love them. And I want parents to really hear that, because yes, you can hear a lot of information from a lot of different parenting experts out there and psychologists. But when it comes down to it, you need to parent the kid in front of you. And I think that's what they most want. They just want you to show up.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of yours. I think I've watched all of your YouTube videos. And one that sticks out is when it was the end of the interview, and you were talking about how your son or daughter had done an assignment, they got a good grade, and it came that they had cheated. And what you did was you kind of said that, I used to do that. And then you kind of led into, this is why you don't want to do that. And so I think parents, it's okay to show that you're not perfect.
Exactly.
Because it allows the kid not to have to be perfect. And I thought that was just a great story, and how you kind of corrected behavior without judging the behavior, and just kind of went, not punishing it, not you're grounded. It was like, listen, you don't want to cheat because you need to know the information. And so parents, it's okay to share, not all of your dirt, but
no, don't do that.
Yeah, but that you're not perfect, and you've done some things that you regretted. So your kids cannot feel like you're going to look down on them or judge them for life,
right?
For being human as a teenager, or a college student, so.
Right. And when you do that, they're going to be honest with you. My kids tell me a lot of stuff because I was so transparent. I was like, I was the queen of sneak at your age, so you can't get stuff past me. I know it, and they know that. My son's like, yeah, you were a little rebellious. I'm like, yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. I used to tell my students, there's no way you're going to be able to cheat in my class. There's just no way. And if you do, I will give you 100, because there's just no way. So,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Dr. Lockhart. I really, really enjoyed meeting you and having this conversation. And I hope that y'all watching got a lot from it. I hope you go to her website and check out some of the resources and information that she has online. And we're going to look forward to your book. Now, she has 2 ebooks. She has the Ultimate Parenting Guide, Eliminating Tantrums. She has the ADHD book. And then we have one that she kind of hinted on that's coming in the near future. What a fun interview. Did you learn a lot? Because I sure did. We are definitely going to have Dr. Ann Louise Lockhart back on the show to talk about a lot more things. ADHD, executive functioning, and oh my goodness, she has so much information about parenting. We definitely have to have her back. Until then, make sure you check out her Instagram, her YouTube, her website, and also her company website. And if you are a parent, make sure that you check out her parent group to join a community that can help you do parenting with less stress. Until next time, this is Health and Wellness with Coach A.T. Moore. Thanks for watching.